Okay, y'all, here's a difference in cultures between Norway and America that I never saw coming and never thought would even be a topic I would ever talk about in my life because my beliefs were so set in stone about it. I could not believe this practice exists here. Okay, we're gonna tell this like a horror story. Like the horror story it felt like to me. Just a mom on her own with her husband, but on her own because she's always scared all the time of everything, because she comes from an American dystopian hellscape, and she's buckling her kids into the car, and she's really, really distracted, and then there's somebody behind her, and they're asking for a ride. Yeah, that's not scary to y'all, I get it, I know. But to me, it was horrifying. Because when I tell you that hitchhiking is not a thing in America, I don't know how to explain to you how little of a thing it is. I never thought I would cover this because I just assumed everybody in all the world would never ever get a ride in somebody else's car with them. And here I was at my home with this either German or Dutch woman asking for a ride. And I was scared because as a girl in America, you're definitely taught not to get into other people's car, but like, you shouldn't let people in your car either in America. And so I was so shocked, like, why would she be doing something so dangerous? And then I was like, can I let her in my car? And then I was like, oh, right, I'm in Norway and she's just a backpacker. It's not a big deal. But this had come up when I was traveling to Cannes earlier, and I was trying to see if I could change my flight and it wasn't working out, and somebody suggested you could just like see if anybody's driving that way from Oslo that day. And when I tell you, I was like, that is the most idiotic statement I've ever heard, but I respect you as a human, so I'm gonna keep it to myself that you just said some nonsense. Like, that was the Southern politeness in me. So we keep it to ourselves and we're just like, what? But then I started finding like Facebook groups for getting rides with people in Norway, and even then I was like, oh, okay, no. And then this happened. This woman asked for a ride from me and it was fine. And I realized my whole worldview about how you're going to get murdered if you hitchhike, which by the way is very real in America. There's several reasons for it that I could go into in a different post, but it's true. Very dangerous. It's a huge modus operandi of how serial killers like get their victims. So, yeah, like it really is just a thing here. And I think that's so freeing. Like, you could actually get around more easier. Like, in a way, it contributes to like a flattened social structure where if you can't afford like the air ticket or something, you can look into other options. Pro tip to my American friends out there, never use the standard Norwegian word for can I get a ride, which is skyss. Nope, no it's not. It's skyss. And this is the problem, my friends, because skyss is, and skyss is to sit in a car. And as your self-proclaimed friend showing you how to live in Norway, I think this opens us Americans up to too much mockery because we're gonna say it wrong. So here's what you wanna say instead. Sitte på. Can I sit på in the bil? That it means in the car. Don't ever try to say shush because we're just gonna get wrong. It opens you up to ridicule, and America opens itself up to too much ridicule. We have to represent well for ourselves. So yeah. Ride sharing and hitchhiking, I'm still getting used to the idea. I am not sure. I mean, when I moved to Norway, you have to understand that moving to Norway was the first time I had ever been out after dark alone as a woman. The first time I'd ever gone on a walk in the woods alone as a woman. So there's a lot of deprogramming to be done, and I don't know, maybe I could get comfortable with it. But also, how do you guys sit with each other for that long? Like, you guys don't usually like to talk to your friends that you haven't known since Barnehage. So why are Norwegians, like, signing on to ride in a car for hours? Do you just not talk? What do you guys do? That's the other thing, is, like, even if I felt safe, I don't know if I'd want to be stuck. What if you don't like that? What if you're, like, awkward? Do you just put in headphones? Anyway, I'm thinking about it. Maybe this is the next step. Like, maybe I could get okay with this. But I do support the idea. I think it makes like moving around and free movement like a lot easier, which becomes an economic issue if we like don't have ways for everybody to get where they need to go. So that's really cool form of economic justice.